In the past 5 years to move into new facilities. The Wolves follow Wigan, Central Park to the JJB Stadium, and Hull, the Boulevard to the KC Stadium, in making the quantum leap from a crumbling stadium to 21st century facilities. Last season saw Warrington achieve their best average attendance for over 25 years, and the signs are they will improve significantly again if the Wolves are once more contenders for the top 6 playoffs. And that's what each and every one of the people inside this stadium hope will happen. It is now time for Paul Cullen and his team on the field to deliver the goods. It will be a difficult year for them. They are amongst the top 6 now, which means that they play the 5 clubs that finished immediately above them last year 3 times this season. But this, their first game at the new home. It is worth remembering that Wigan lost their first ever game at the JJB Stadium, and last year London beat Hull in their opening Super League game at the KC Stadium. Will Wakefield Trinity Wildcats prove the biggest party poopers in Warrington's history? It's the second red letter day in Warrington. For Wakefield 5 months ago, they closed Wilderspool. Now they open the new stadium in front of another full house. Steve-O, a magnificent stadium, wonderful facilities, and we just hope that all these people who have packed in here tonight will come back again.
And to be fair, over the years, Eddie, these fans here at Warrington have been extremely loyal to their side through some very, very bad times. They do hope that Paul Cullen will turn that all around. They've made some good signings, but believe you me, the Wakefield Wildcats will not just lie down tonight. They have a point to prove. They are being tipped by many in rugby league circles to be battling it out for the relegation spot.
Mike Forshaw there, we got a glimpse of him, one of the new boys in Warrington's colours this year. He joins the likes of John Wilshire, Chris Lightball and Danny Lima, who's on the bench, but it perhaps is Lee Breer's return that the Warrington supporters will be celebrating the most today. Out for 8 months with a broken wrist. His last appearance was on July the 13th. Ian Smith is tonight's big match referee. It's a fantastic atmosphere. There's been a ticker tape welcome for Warrington. There are bits of paper all over the field. Now then, can the Warrington Wolves deliver?
Well, a big crowd here, certainly hoping for that. Earlier I was lucky to have a walk across the pitch, Eddie. I must say, looks in wonderful condition, but it is very, very hard. There's not much give in the soil.
You will notice that the pitch is divided into 10-metre grids, so it's exactly 100 metres long. And life at the new stadium is underway for Warrington as Wakefield kick off. And there's the first touch for John Wilshire on his Super League debut. He plays the ball quickly to John Clark, and here is Mark Hilton. But Wakefield very quickly in the tackling early. Darren Burns will drive it forward.
And you can see the official Ian Smith having the devil of a time to try to give back the required 10. Kicking early in the tackle count.
And Breers was hit there by David March pretty late as he picked that ball downfield, but a fabulous chase led by Dean Gaskell and completed by Ben Westwood. And a knock on Jason Demetrio, trying to get the ball over the top of the player underneath him, and he lost control.
Good kick and chase. Elected the skipper Lee Breers to kick early in that tackle count. And a few words said to him by the hooker David March on the Wakefield side. We know that Wakefield would come all fired up for this one.
The start that Paul Cullen would have wanted. Breers trying to go through the gap. Demetrio with a tackle.
Good move that they've made. Lee Breers the skipper as well.
This is Darren Burns. Warrington 3 metres short of the line with John Clark. Blew the pass to Breers. Back it goes then to Lightball. And Lightball is...
Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it, and the officials have not seen it. That really should have been a scrum down.
This is Hilton, and Hilton trying to barge his way to the line, and he's hauled back by 4 Wakefield defenders. 4 tackles gone. John Clark, full of pass to Frears. He looked to go left. The defence has moved up. Here is Forshaw. He evades 1, he evades 2. Gets the pass away to Clark. Here is Frears again. There's the kick to the corner. Difficult and picked up. And that is the winger Justin Ryder over there on the far side. Let's take a check on the teams while we've got a second. Happo at full-back for Warrington. Gross, Wilshire, Westwood, Gaskell, Breers, the skipper, and Wood. Forward, Lightball, Clark, Hilton, Burns, Forshaw, and Wainwright. And the bench, Gleeson, Wood, Noon, and Lima. Coach Paul Cullen, of course. Now the men from Wakefield, Dimitriou, Ryder, Ellis the skipper, youngest in Super League. Dominic, ex-Warrington, Tajulala, Rooney, and Jeffrey. Forwards, Griffin, Marks, Korkidas, Solomona, Hood, and Field. And the subs, Halfpenny, Wrench, Snitch, and Talipo. The coach, Shane McNally.
Looking at change by the Wildcats there. Just bobbled the ball a little bit, John Wilshire.
Penalty, high shot, or an intended high shot by Jamie Field.
Well, they come hunting, that is for sure. They are a very rough outfit, but the loose forward, Jamie Field, went just over the top of the shoulders, didn't miss. But Wakefield must feel badly done to. Little doubt in my mind that Likeable had dropped that ball.
Well, they're offside now, Wakefield. They were too quick out of the blocks, and Breers might be tempted. There's a swirling wind at the ground tonight, but no, he goes for territory. And Warrington are 20 metres away from the line. They will restart with Clark. And he finds Forshaw. Won every honour in the game with the Bradford Bulls, Mike Forshaw. 11-cap Great Britain international. There's Breers. Here is Hilton driving it in strongly.
Pretty good tactics as well. They're using the big fella Hilton out wide, not as the first receiver, but he's coming off the first man.
And this is Graham Appo. Sensational 2003 for Graham Appo. This is his 40th appearance for Warrington. John Clark, the dummy half. Again looking for Breers. Breers then long and wide to Nathan Wood. And Wood steps inside a couple, gets the ball away though. Here goes Lightball. This now is Forshaw. Forshaw standing, support arrives. Lightball, Nathan Wood. First try at the new ground for Nathan Wood and Warrington.
And what a try that was. Classic rugby league football. Forshaw involved yet again. He's got off to a flyer. But there's the try scorer, Nathan Wood. You'll see the build-up here. They kept the ball alive, brought it back on the inside, but watch the support play. Keep that ball going, back on the inside. Look for it. Forshaw says yes. Give it to me. Support was superb, and the crowd here have gone absolutely crazy. What a start. What a try, and doesn't miss a Wood like that.
Nathan Ward, first try of the season with Westwood. He left Wakefield in 2002 for Warrington. And remember, in this corresponding fixture last season, which ended 108 years of rugby league history at Wilderspool, Warrington beat the Wildcats by 52 points to 12. But tonight, you get the feeling, despite this early try, Shane McNally's men will not be lying down. Breers then, from bang in front. Makes no mistake. Warrington off to the perfect start at their new stadium. They lead 6-0.
So important to be able to offload. It was Nathan Wood, the try scorer, that got the ball moving. And the support was absolutely fantastic. Great play there. Oh, that is a wonderful try.
Got a bit of a scratch on the nose as well, did Nathan Wood. 10 tries last year, it was a career best for him, and he's off the mark already in 2004. Now then, John Wilshire, the Papua New Guinea international, met by the tackle from David Solomona, and lots of people looking forward to seeing Solomona. And Darren Burns driving in it again for Warrington. All down by David March. Wakefield with a bit of a job to stop the Warrington roll that they're trying to get on here after Breers' kick. It evades Jason Demetriou, who of course this time last year was earning his call not too far away from here in Widnes. 6-0 Warrington, a breathtaking start, Clarkie, for the Wire.
Yes, certainly is. Anybody who's ever watched Mike Forshaw play knows that he has an ability to get his hands free in the tackle and offload. He was obviously involved in that first try. It's quite ironic that they scored the try under the post, because the point that I was going to make, you mentioned the length of this field, the width, a full maximum of 68 metres, was at the request of their coach Paul Cullen, who has an ability and a willingness to use the full width of the pitch. He wants to spread the ball as much as he can. And don't be surprised if we see the wingers getting some quality ball, which is not that often in rugby league. They very often have to come into the middle of the field to look for the walk ball.
The pick downfield was from Jamie Rooney. This is Graham Appo.
The one thing that Paul Cullen will be very, very pleased about is the performance of the prop forward. Chris Lightvolt involved in that try twice, so was Wood. And we mentioned the importance of Forshaw. He'll steady the ship here.
They come down the blind side, and they're not standing square, Wakefield. The referees this year have been instructed to make sure that at the play the ball, the defending side stands one behind the other, and there's no quick breaks. And we saw many penalties delivered to Bradford last night because Wigan weren't standing square.
Well, that's a ploy to work that short blind side. If anybody's going to have a rest in the defensive line, it will be on that short side. And we saw the two big wingers last night. They just pick up the ball, get into dummy half, and deliberately run at the man who hasn't made the 10 metres back.
Here's Forshaw again for Warrington. He played the ball quickly. It's with Lightvolt. 99 National Rugby League Grand Final for St George Illawarra Dragons for Chris Lightvolt, by the way. And John Clark at dummy half. He finds Nathan Wood, the try scorer. They look for Breers on every occasion. Wakefield looking to close him down, and they do so successfully this time. Solomona flew out of the line, and the tackle eventually was completed. Here's Darren Burns, back on the inside to Hilton. Very important tackle then by Ben Jeffries. It's on the last. Here is Breers. It's a high-hanging kick. It bounces all over the show, and Wakefield come up with the goods. But Nathan Wood trying to force the man in possession over the try line. Couldn't do so. It was Jamie Rooney.
Good high kick from Lee Breers as well. Definitely testing the two wingers on either side, on the Wildcat side. Must say they're in a little bit of a hole at the moment. They don't seem to get any momentum going. They should now.
Yes, there's a penalty now going Wakefield's way.
It's a little bit too eager.
I don't think you needed to be a Hollywood scriptwriter, Steve-O, to know that for the first 10 minutes here, Warrington would throw everything bar the kitchen sink at you. And Shane McNally knew that that would be the case. Well, Kidas now to try and reply for the Wildcats.
Well, he'll be somewhat peeved, Shane McNally, the Wakefield coach, mainly due to the fact that the prop forward, Lightvolt, definitely lost the ball.
Oh, they've got a penalty here. Interference on Jamie Rooney. He tried to get up and gather his feet.
No doubt about it. Just had another snap at it. McNally is a pretty shrewd customer.
Paul Cullen,
number.
Well, Paul Cullen said with us last night that his team were up for this. It was another massive occasion for them after closing the doors at Wilderspool last year to come to the new ground. But Mike Forshaw just having a second snap.
The problem is sometimes, Eddie, the expectation of these fans. They were in buoyant mood as they were queuing to get into this ground. And plenty of time to a few discussions with them, and they expected. They said, we will win tonight. They was confident.
Well, Shane McNally is also confident that Wakefield won't be battling it out 11th and 12th this season. And Rooney has kicked the first points of the season for them, the England A international. It's Warrington 6, Wakefield 2. Now, don't forget, our man of the match will be decided by representatives of the media here at Warrington tonight. The spokesman is Dave Hatfield, who's on the sideline. Dave, what are the boys looking for this evening?
nervous affairs these first nights at new ground, so I suppose what we're all looking for is somebody to take control of the occasion, and the signs are very good, aren't they, from Nathan Wood and Lee Breers at half-back for Warrington so far. For Wakefield, it's somebody who could spoil the party, and the ultimate irony would be if Sid Domick was to emerge as that man, but they've got to get into the game a bit more before we can look forward to that.
David, I've been impressed with Lightball and, of course, Mike Forshaw so far.
Yeah, Lightball was terrific in the build-up to that try, wasn't it? To figure twice there and get the ball away both times. That's really difficult stuff to play against. That was a very promising sign from him.
Thanks, Dave. We'll hear from you again about 5 minutes to go, and you'll give us the name of the man of the match here at this opening night for Warrington at their new stadium.
Pretty solid defence there. That's the problem that Wakefield are having at the moment, is getting across the advantage line.
Only with a kick, and that could be a 40-20, but it just bounced about 25 metres away from the Warrington line. Good kick, though, just the same. Measured kick. Jamie Rooney, big things expected from him this year. Tipped for a big season. Former Featherstone man, over 1,200 points in 5 seasons.
I was going to say, Neil Fox would have been a bit upset about that.
Just the extra
He's
note.
got a great talent, though, and you know, he's got good balance.
And here's Appo, who really was one of the stars last year.
Well, it looked high there, Jamie Field. That's the second occasion he's gone a little bit above the shoulders. The man that's doing the tackling there, Korkidis, such an important factor on this Wildcat side. If he leads from example, gets across that advantage line, then with a great chance.
This is Brent Gross now, fed again by Mike Forshaw, that ability to stand in the tackle and offload the ball. And here is Mark Hilton. That's a really good challenge, though, on him. And I'll tell you something, Solomona felt the full weight of that. And the referee rightly, because he saw that Solomona's in trouble.
The crowd don't like it, but it was a big hit there. Just got it all wrong. Went in awkward. And he would have felt that, Solomona. And because, here it is, and he just spins around. And watch the head. Boom. I mentioned a few moments ago, this ground is really, really solid. It's hard. Just like concrete, and he would have felt that.
Well, there have been some injuries already in the Super League opener.
But that was good by the referee, because it was in the region of the play of the ball, so someone could have got even, you know, more injured.
Yes, and he saw that he's crumpled nastily. Fortunately, he's there at first marker, Solomona. I was mentioning the injuries already.
Oh, now then, this is contentious.
And it was even more contentious.
Yeah, dangerous. Clark wants to have a go. I think it's picked on someone better than Darryl Griffin. Breers and March. Don't know what sort of dance they call that. I've seen that sort of thing in Thailand. But get back to the rugby league, in as much that they've been pinned, Warrington, for utilising the player coming through as a dummy runner as though they're Shepherd. Now, I'm not so sure. I think they made a big meal of that.
That's why Breers was a bit annoyed with David March, because he got hit late.
The firebrand. And, well, he wanted to do the dead dance. Silly.
It was a penalty to Wakefield, and coming forward here, Forshaw bringing Korkidis down. A drive in here by Darryl Griffin. Suddenly Warrington are on the defensive. David March, the dummy half. This is Rooney again. Puts the ball back. Solid defence needed from Warrington, and it's there. Ellis plays the ball. March will attack the line. Good strong run from David March. Oh, he offloads brilliantly as well. And Jeffries retains possession for his side. Oh, the second row has dropped it. Dallas Hood. And here comes the counter from Warrington.
Well picked up there by Ben Westwood. They needed that as well. They were straight out. Now, this is something we can do without. I'm not so sure if it touches him, but the mere fact, it may occur in other sports, but we don't want it. That was stupidity there.
And a forward pass here against Warrington.
The big problem we find, Eddie, is that within our game, okay, it is a family game, and we do not want to try to impress upon the youngsters that they can do that at junior level. Once they see it on television, they say, well, if the superstars do it... I mean, he went hunting.
Yes, that was very early in the piece, Steve. I think that was and look, Breers and March, they've been squaring up from the opening minutes here. They're two highly combative
I know
opponents.
it's not tiddlywinks, Eddie. We know that. It's a rough, tough game.
Here they come, though, Wakefield. Jamie Field, 20 metres away from the Warrington line. Jeffrey, the fullback rather, Dimitri was the dummy half. Here is Solomona. Looks like he's fully fit again after going down injured.
The big thing now for Paul Cullen, the Warrington coach, is to get the message out to Lee Breers to just concentrate on what he's paid for, and that's playing rugby league football. Little doubt in my mind that March has been sent out there to try to rile him up and put him off his game.
Darryl Griffin gets Wakefield within 9 metres. Oh, and Wiltshire went for the interception, and Warrington have come up with it.
They're looking to get away with that. Oh, this is getting nasty.
And Breers. Oh, well, the referee has got to sort this out.
Yeah.
And the touch judge is on.
And it all comes about, look, it all comes about by the fact that the official allowed a player to virtually threaten him. This is hot. It's cool down there. But inside the bodies, it's bouncing.
Semi Tajulala launches himself at the...
Well, he went for the intercept. They both went to it. Domick went for the ball as well. And then it was on. And now I guess who they put the pressure on. Lee Breers.
Well, he is the playmaker for Warrington.
No doubt they've picked him out. There's little doubt in my mind that, but they're trying to put him off his game. And it's going to be interesting to see how he handles it, Lee Breers.
Come here. Wait, come here. We've got 20 minutes, right? Yeah, we've got 20 minutes. Big crowd. Right, what can I discipline? All right? I could penalise more. I'm trying to work with you. If you stop working with me, coming out all the time.
Penalty to Warrington, and let's concentrate on the discipline, says Ian Smith.
Lee, play your ball and get away.
I think they may have just heard the official say to Lee, play the ball and get away from it.
Well, it's rough and tough, the Super League. I'm going to get this point in about the injuries, if I can, because we saw Shontaine Harpy go off with a broken arm yesterday, and Michael Eager of Hull is also out, we're told, tonight for 3 months with a similar injury. So it's already started, the injuries, and whoever has the best squad and the biggest squad and the squad most capable of sorting out those injuries will do well in Super League this year. It is a tough competition, and Breers does well, and he finds Brent Gross, and Gross has got Wiltshire with him, and Wiltshire has the touchline, but they managed to snare him.
Did well though, did the winger Wiltshire. Made sure he got back into the field of play.
Graham Appo attacking the Wakefield defence, taking Warrington underneath the sticks, and Wakefield now called offside.
Will they take a quick tap? I certainly would.
Jamie, every single one of you.
Well, he's warmed up.
Will Lee Breers be tempted to take the 2 points on offer?
No, I think we'll go for the tap.
You're right, he has. Pressure from Warrington with Burns. He almost gets through.
Once again, we see Wakefield's defence going pretty high. You could pay the price when you do that. Foreshaw's everywhere.
And he managed it offload to Burns. John Clark, 2 metres away. Nathan Wood goes wide, and on the bounce, that's forward. Gaskell picks it up. Oh, back to 6, says the referee, Ian Smith. It looked like that had gone forward. Maybe it was touched by the Wakefield man in the act of the pass. This is Forshaw now. 6 to go, remember, for Warrington.
Oh, that should be a penalty. That's a professional foul.
John Clark! Just short of the line again. 3 tackles gone. Halfway through this set of 6. Nathan Wood. Lee Breers. Lee Breers comes back this way. Ducks under a couple of charges. Can't get away from the tackle from March. Appo. Appo with Gross in support. Dominic all round Brent Gross. Great offload to Graham Appo. Appo out the back door to Darren Burns. Darren Burns, second effort. Couldn't get it back to Brent Gross. Takes the tackle on the Wakefield line. Last one.
Outstanding effort from the prop forward, Darryl Griffin there.
Breers wide. They've got a man on the overlap. Westwood wide. Gaskell will score the try.
He'll go for the screen.
A video referee decision.
No doubt about that.
It was a little stutter and a fumble, but did Gaskell pick it up cleanly?
Well, when Westwood threw the dummy, I thought he was going to go on his own. Maybe the momentum would have got in there, but he flips the ball away. It's a momentum rule. You can see that Westwood's in front, and that'll be a try. What a pickup. What a pickup by the winger there. He's still moving. No one had got to him, and that is TRY time as far as I'm concerned.
Remember the World Club Challenge? Penrith had one chalked off.
Picked it up. Right, he's still moving. Ryder hasn't got to him. He does now. That's got to be TRY. And that was fully deserved. The way that Warrington are keeping this ball alive is outstanding. He does not lose any control. If the man and Ryder had got to him before a split second, there could have been the call for a double movement, but if you haven't got a man onto it, it's open play, so this will be TRY.
And it is. Dean Gaskell gets the second Warrington try. The young man who has had 6 touchdowns in 3 pre-season friendlies. Dean Gaskell gets the nod from Paul Cullen, gets the nod from tonight's video referee, Ray Tennant as well.
Standing deep. 2 lovely long passes out wide. They came out of the line and paid a huge price there. Justin Ryder was caught. It looked as though the centre was going to go on his hole, but what a take by the winger Gaskell. But it was the man that came late on him that allowed Warrington the room to move. Justin Ryder took a huge gamble, and it didn't pay off.
Lee Breers then, way out on the far touchline. They've been training on this field for a few weeks now. Has Lee Breers got the direction right? Indeed he has. 12-2.
So you see Mr. Ryder certainly lost a horse, is in no man's land. Good work. In the end, it wasn't the best pass, and it was a relieved centre Ben Westwood that said, the fellow in the screen had the necessary skills to finish it off. But what about the build-up? This is the best rugby league football I've seen from the Warrington side for quite some time. They're electric.
Well, electric, says Steve-O. What say you, Clarkie?
I'd say it reminds me of the way they finished last season with the football they played. They moved the ball around so well that they were draining the energy from the Wakefield side. But Wakefield hung on. I thought they might just be able to do enough, as it was they scored in the corner with a player who I believe has been probably the hardest working player during the off-season, Dean Gaskell. He's got bigger, stronger and even faster, and really this Warrington side do look very good, and I bet on this sort of evidence in the first 16 minutes, first 20 minutes, they'll make a lot of teams worry about the way they're going to have to come and play here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium.
Light ball. Over the halfway line. On the last. It's with Lee Breers, who shaped a kick. Oh, he's going to get trapped. Oh, he took the wrong option then, Lee Breers.
Well, full credit to the Wakefield defence. They moved up pretty quickly onto him.
Here's Sid Domick.
Virtually gave him no option to do it, and that's a flop. Good play.
And he had a word to say to Ian Smith as well. So he's marched 10 metres further forward. Graham Appo.
They'll get a right rollicking from Paul Cullen there.
Because they are really in the danger zone now. Good drive by Darryl Griffin.
Great tackle by Mark Hilton. Picked him up, drove him right down into the turf.
This is Steve Snitch. And it's stolen in the tackle. 2 men. So it's a penalty for Wakefield.
The character, this fella Lightball, isn't he? Boom. I'm not so sure, but he has been penalised.
And too. They want to really get back into this match.
Well, they haven't done much possession in it.
Here's Sid Domic, a real hero at Wilderspool, but a villain at the new stadium for Warrington fans. And that is Semi Padulala, one of the great names of Super League 9. David March, Jeffries, Rooney helps it on. Offside against Ben Westwood.
Well, he's getting the message across. The players don't realise, and he's bringing the captain over. And we get Breers and a bit of a word. He's won both sides now. Creeping up on that blind side. It's quite obvious that the officials are being told to stand down and take control.
Well, he wants to leave Breers, but Breers is trying to run an injury off, and he's hobbling his way to the referee. That's Ben Westwood, who was caught standing in an offside position down the left-hand channel.
We had a succession of 3 penalties on the bank. Team warning. Let's get it sorted out, otherwise I'll do it. Otherwise I'll sort it.
Team warning, it's exactly what Wigan got last night at Oxford from Russell Smith. And soon afterwards, Luke Robinson was in the bin.
And there is a problem with Breers. He's had to come right out onto the right wing. And the only reason to do that is because he will have a problem. They're keeping him out of the action. I hope they can just withstand the Wildcats' charge on this occasion.
Good tackling by Burns and Gross.
They didn't take the dummy, did they?
Here is Rooney, and Domic on the charge.
Neat little inside pass as well, but well spotted. Forshaw, John Clark.
Rooney again. Good stab to the in-goal area. Trying, beckoning here. It's a try for Jeffries. And the referee gives it without referral to the video referee. And Ben Jeffries has struck for Wakefield.
Beautiful kick through. We mentioned all last night that Wigan's big problem was they couldn't get through the defence. Was he onside though? Boy, that's a big call by the referee. Because on the replay, it looked as though Jeffries made just to be in a touch in front. And on that angle, he's okay. As you know, a different angle can give you the wrong impression, but take nothing away. Yeah, you can see that he's just behind the line. That definitely confirms it. Beautiful chip through. Jeffries takes it with glee.
Wakefield back in the hunt here. Ben Jeffries with the try. Much happier at scrum half towards the end of last year. The 23-year-old has given another 23-year-old, Jamie Rooney, the chance to improve matters, which he does. It's 12 points to 8. Warrington just ahead.
Neat little kick. See the full-back Graham Appo well and truly out of position, not anticipating it going on the angle. Jeffries did.
Well, Shane McNally hoping that his men would turn up to play here tonight. They finished 11th. That's next to bottom for each of the last 3 years. And Bill Arthur now with some injury news.
Eddie, we saw David Solomono take a bang on the head, or rather be landing on his head on the pitch, and he carried on for a few minutes, but he is still feeling a little bit groggy, and Wakefield had decided to bring him off, erring on the side of caution there. You were wondering about Lee Breers' fitness. Well, I just wonder whether he's just nursing a slight bang on his right knee. He's just rubbed that area once or twice, and he hasn't had any treatment yet, but he's still loitering out there wide at the moment for Warrington.
Thanks, Bill. Halfway line, Wakefield Trinity Wildcats with March. And he gets the ball wide. That's good defence. Mike Forshaw. Well, he might be 34 years of age, Mike Forshaw, but he's one of the best trainers, one of the fittest players in the Super League, despite the evergreen age. Underneath it, Wilshire.
That's a poor kick as well.
Yeah, they was inside the 10, all of them. They have to give him 10 metres grace, and they were all ahead of the kicker. So that's why the referee has given Warrington the penalty. Every one of them ahead. They have to give him 10 metres.
Yep. Good to see that the officials are picking up on that as well.
And Tadulala was about 5 metres away from him. This is Forshaw again. 40 metres away from the Wakefield line. Breers to Clark. And a drive forward here by Danny Lima. Lima to Nathan Wood. It goes wide to Ben Westwood.
Good tackle there by Ellis. Went back on the inside. Full credit to the Wildcats. It looked at one moment where they were just going to lose their concentration, and Warrington were controlling things.
It's a great run from Clark after a really good drive forward by Lima. Nathan Wood. Long ball again. They look for Breers on every opportunity. He then finds Appo. Appo trying to dart through the gap.
Definitely a problem there with Breers.
He's got the ball again. There's the kick to the corner. Tajulala waits. Picks it up. Gross is there.
Great position there by the winger. Tajulala knew where it was going.
This is Domic again. Well, Phil, what are you making of this new stadium for Warrington and the atmosphere?
Impressed with the stadium, impressed with the atmosphere, and also impressed with the way the Warrington have begun in this game. You know, Bradford have shown though to have any chance of being current the champions of Super League. He needs 17 good players, not just the 13 who start the match. So I'm interested to see how Paul Wood and Danny Lima play now. They're the two props who Warrington have just brought on. And it's the impact that they have now really will be able to determine whether Warrington really will be able to compete with the big boys this season.
Clarkie, Wakefield, you've got to be, you've got to feel proud of the way that they fought their way back. It looked as though Warrington were going to take total control of this game.
Yeah, but my worry really is for them at the moment. They're expending too much energy really in the way they're having to defend. Too many players slipping off tackles. It's taking 3 or 4 guys to really win that battle, win that collision and get somebody down. Warrington also using the ball very well, moving it around and making the Wakefield players running around quite a lot and then get back on side with the referee here. And just in the last few minutes, Warrington getting a couple of quick play the balls on which John Clark's starting to benefit.
That's Mike Wainwright. And here now is Paul Wood. Paul Wood, of course, who one of the most improved in Super League last year, made the Great Britain squad. The high kick from Breers. Tajulala claims it.
Control. Kept very calm indeed.
Jason Demetriou now.
Notice also as Tajulala jumped into the air, brought the knee up, just a little bit of protection.
Come on, boys, make it on the right, come on!
That was Albert Talipo who took that tackle. This now is Domic. March. Here's Talipo again. March once more, dummy half. Korkidas over halfway. Great flick pass out the back door to Ryder. Former Newcastle Knight, Justin Ryder. Last tackle. And Rooney with the kick, crossfield and high. John Wiltshire is after this. Oh, he's allowed it to bounce in all sorts of strife. And what happened here is the touch judge's call is a drop out underneath the sticks.
Well, there was nowhere underneath it, was he?
Well, I think they might have got that wrong.
Yeah. Looked as though it had gone over the whitewash before. Was forced onto it there. Actually, that could have been a penalty and should have been a penalty because he's made the tackle.
Wakefield man's hand.
Well, not only that, Eddie.
It came off David Wrench now.
Yeah, but David Wrench has tackled a man without the football in his hands. That should have been a penalty, but you can't take away the fact that that man there was nowhere to be seen. He was poor positioning there to take that football. Well, he wasn't anywhere near.
Sailed over his head and he was in all sorts of trouble as the ball bounced. Good spell here for Wakefield since they struck with that try. Demetriou helps it on. And here is Talipo, and he gets snared by Breers, but offloads to the try scorer Jeffries. It's Tajulala on the chase. And it's another goal line dropout coming up.
Shane McNally knows one thing. They'll keep pushing the ball to this fella all night.
No doubts about this.
Once he had no problem with getting in position, the bells would have been ringing in Shane McNally's head and saying, he's the guy we think is a weak link.
Not the best dropout again from Appo. Doesn't get much distance on it, about 30 metres, that's all. Warrington with work to do in defence. And here comes Korkidas again, and he will go forward all night, this big fellow. David March at dummy half. Jamie Rooney, Ben Jeffries, the runner. It's forward. Oh!
It was a forward pass.
forward than that. And it does on that as well.
Yeah, it's gone past the man, Eddie. But good credit to Wakefield. They put themselves into that position.
Two hands and square.
It's amazing how it looks as though your opposition is taking control. So you start a bit of a fisticuffs. They're all excited. The opposition forget about playing rugby league, and it has allowed the Wildcats to get back into this game.
Yes,
they're only 4 points adrift.
they looked like they were going to be swamped.
Yep.
As you say, then they messed around a bit, and Warrington lost the plot just a touch. And it's certainly been Wakefield for the last quarter of an hour who have caught the eye. Now, can Paul Wood do anything about this?
The thing for Warrington is that they're trying to nurse their skipper Lee Breers.
Great little run, though. Terrific run from Gleeson. And that was a high shot as well. 40 high. Lima helps it on to Breers. Here now is Burns. Warrington looking for one up to half-time with Gross. It flies the brakes, goes again. Stops the kick to the in-goal area. And it bounces harmlessly over the dead ball line.
Foreshore there, and that looked as though it was pretty high.
Terrific tackle, though, in the end from Dimitriou.
Whether it was fair was debatable. Little chip through. Well covered yet again. Warrington coach Paul Cullen perhaps feeling that Semi Tadulala is their weakling, the Wakefield side, but has handled everything very well indeed.
Albert Talipo. Over halfway, head-to-head over the years, well, nothing much to choose, but in Super League and at Warrington, again, nothing much to choose. Warrington on their home ground, though, dominant, but overall in Super League, too close to call, and that's why we have a 12-8 scoreline.
Good tactics, yet again, punching right down on the left-hand side, and Paul Cullen realises that John Wilshire is going to come under a lot of pressure for the rest of this game.
Even though we saw there that Wakefield have won 7 of 12 in the Super League against Warrington, they have lost on the last 3 visits to Wilderspool. They won the first 3 summer visits to Warrington, however.
Now safety first, really should be the key for the Wolves. Just make sure they get possession, hold on to it, get a good kick and chase.
Well, they want to protect their advantage to half-time, and Wakefield, I think, will get another chance to have 6 more tackles at them through 3, and there's 2.5 minutes remaining. Here is Wood.
Warrington's ability that we saw early in the game to get the ball on the first and second receiver and then come back on the inside was catching the Wakefield defence. They seem to have gone off the boil in that department yet.
Last tackle it is this for Warrington. It bounces over Dimitriou's head. Nathan Wood's after him. That's a great chase from the scrum half.
That's a little kick as well from Lee Breers. Knew that the fullback Jason Dimitriou had just come up into the line of defence. Right over the top of the head. Oh, that was dodgy pass.
It's been turned into a good pass, though, in the end by Dimitriou.
Good job that Breers was in the sweeping up department.
Now, Tadulala. And he's pinched it, I think, has he? Wilshire thought he had pinched that, but the touch judge shook his head. Here's Sid Domick. He's away from 2. That was forward.
Certainly looked it. I mentioned last night, it's going to be a nightmare, this flat pass. Oh, that's going to be forward. If at first you don't succeed, then you pop it up. Jeffrey's not too impressed.
Extra turnover, it was on the last.
He was looking towards that momentum rule.
Well, they'll have the last set of 6, maybe, Warrington, although the speed of the modern game, Wakefield might get 6 more. Wainwright.
That momentum rule, Eddie, you know, I mean, scientifically, do you think it can be proved?
Yes. Gleeson. We're not going to go through the momentum rule
No.
on the first week of the season. Here's Darren Burns. Crossing.
You was not square.
Oh, no, not standing square. I beg your pardon. It's a penalty.
I'm going to say,
Warrington. They must look at the clock, surely, and take the 2.
well, they might tap it and just chase for it.
Well, I think Gleeson actually almost did tap that ball. The shout has come from Paul Cullen. You have the 2.
Don't even come back.
He was quick to get the message down. Take the 2 on offer. No point in spilling the ball and allowing Wakefield a chance to get the possession. I'm not so sure about that. When you saw it on the replay, I've seen worse than that.
Every now and again, you just...
Well, this is the new edict from Stuart Cummings this year. He wants this, tidying up around the ruck. The markers standing square, and if they don't stand square, they must be instantly penalised. I'll show you the documents.
There's a book on it. It's called The Rules.
Yes, but there is also now a document that he's issued.
As well as the rules.
As well as the rules.
Michael!
Only just emphasising the point.
So we better get used to the whistle then.
No,
is that what you're saying?
Match officials on-field policy guidelines 2004. And the referees have got to be allowed to get on with their job. So,
right.
Zip it.
Okay. Rugby League fans can look forward to the referees now becoming the superstars of Rugby League.
Shush. Let's watch Lee Breers. Can he kick this goal? Give Warrington a 6-point lead at half-time. He can. There's the half-time siren. Well, they started like a house on fire. They were 12-2 up inside the first 23 minutes. And then Wakefield came back at them. Jeffrey's try Rooney goal. It was 12-8, and that's how it stayed for 11 minutes, right up to the stroke of half-time, when we just saw Breers stroke over that penalty goal to give us a 14-8 scoreline at half-time. It's been a decent start, though, to life at the new stadium so far for the Warrington Wolves.
Big games, 3 channels, 1 Super Sunday. At 11:30, the Second City Derby, Villa v Birmingham. Pay-per-view on Premiership Plus. Next, an FA Cup replay, Portsmouth, Liverpool. Goal! 2 o'clock on Sky Sports 2. And then, back to the Premiership. Spurs take on Leicester City. 4 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. Non-stop football tomorrow on Sky Sports and Premiership Plus.
Be still.
Sense the positive vibes of Powergen and Tesco's Mystic Union and reap the bountiful harvest of supermarket produce.
For those who choose energy from Powergen, receive a Tesco Club Card point for every quid they spend.
What are points, mate? Parsnips.
Oh, right.
Positive energy from Powergen.
Are you the manager?
Yes. They're on the way. It'll be about 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Something has to be done now.
Just a minute.
Would the owner of the silver Skoda Fabia please report to the information desk immediately?
Bev?
Kev! Bev!
Kev? Bev?
Kev?
Bev! Kev!
With an AA car loan, the typical APR is just 6.6%. So you might surprise yourself with what you can afford.
Nice car.
Thanks! We used to have one of those.
To get more car for your money, just ask on 0800 374 999. Call now, and you could also get a free AA car inspection.
A man asked his wife, what do you want for your birthday? You can have anything at all. I'll buy you a top-of-the-range luxury sports car. I don't want a car. I'll buy you a round-the-world first-class champagne cruise. I don't want a cruise. I'll buy you a Tiffany necklace with a 50-carat diamond. I don't want a necklace. Well, what do you want then? I want a divorce. Hell, the man said. I hadn't planned on spending that kind of money.
this weekend's News of the World, get your copy of True Brit, an exclusive 10-track CD packed full of award-winning British artists. Don't miss True Brit, only inside this weekend's News of the World.
Introducing new soft liquid tabs from Fairy Non-Bio.
England's story. The inside track and how England won the World Cup. From the men who really know, the players.
We were not going to lose this game. We were not going to lose this game.
He was not going to be a captain of a losing side in the World Cup final.
England's story. Out Monday on DVD. There is a machine. It's faster. Sleeker. And more technologically advanced than ever before. Introducing the new XDA2. See what you can do. O2.
Challenge Cup features next weekend, but rest assured, 2 weeks' time, the Super League is back. Widnes against Huddersfield is our Friday match, live on Sky Sports 1 from 7:30. And on the Saturday, we're in London. Broncos-Saints games over the years have produced some memorable moments. It's a 5:30 start, Sky Sports 1, 2 weeks' time. St. Helens in London against the Broncos. Saturday the 6th, 5:30, Sky Sports 1. We are at Warrington's brand new stadium, the Halliwell Jones Stadium, and Warrington Wolves 14, Wakefield Trinity Wildcats 8. Half-time of the second match that we've brought you on Sky Sports of Tetley's Super League 9. And Paul Cullen will be well pleased with the fact that his players raced into a 12-2 lead after 23 minutes, but then Wakefield unsettled the Wolves. They got at them physically, they upset Lee Breers, there was a bit of fisticuffs, a bit of pushing and shoving, and Warrington went off the boil, and Wakefield came into the match. They scored a fine try themselves, did Shane McNally's Wildcats, through Ben Jeffries, and they have really given Warrington a fright. Beaten here, remember, in the, or not here, but in Warrington, the last game of last season, 52-12, as they brought the curtain down on 108 years at Wilderspool. Here we are now in the very first match at the new stadium, and a really good fight being made of it by the Wakefield Wildcats. Enjoying this, Steve-O?
Yeah, certainly, and I'm sure that both coaches will be enjoying it as well. You know, full credit to these Wakefield Wildcats. It looked as though they were just going to be swamped by this Warrington outfit, who really started well. Forshaw leading the way, the new man, and it was tremendous stuff how they came up with the first try. Their ability to keep the ball alive was superb, especially in the opening 10-15 minutes, and it's evident here. On two occasions, Likeville, the prop forward, gets involved back on the inside after Forshaw's put them through Nathan Wood. The crowd went crackers, and it looked as though they were going to fall apart. And then when Westwood threw the dummy, it looked as though it was going to be a try for himself. It wasn't the best pass, but what an effort by Gassel. Look at this. Tremendous stuff. They got caught out there. He got the try, and as Eddie has mentioned, Wakefield slowly but surely started to get physical, and the kick from Rooney allowed Jeffries to put them back in this match. And as I said, full credit to those Wildcats, because they really did fight hard. The big problem now for Warrington is to concentrate on playing rugby league football. If they get sucked in yet again, as they did midway through that first half, they could find themselves struggling against a very, very tough outfit.
Well, it's a big crowd. They're high on expectation. Warrington, they were hoping that they would deliver. And, well, I suppose to a degree they have. They're just ahead at half-time. Clarkey is down there on the sideline. Phil, I just wonder what you're making of it all. A lot of people quite like a bit of biff and bash, don't they? And Wakefield provided it.
Well, you need some passion in this game, but there was a danger, perhaps, that the emotion of the whole event really would just become too much and maybe affect Warrington's performance. I don't think that's been the case. The players have stayed focused on the game, and they played very well. It's just that Wakefield very rarely give you an easy game. I know you mentioned the last time they played, they were beaten heavily but that was a one-off really. And they're a very workmanlike side. Everybody gets stuck in, gives everything they've got, and they're competitive. Last year when Bradford went back to Oddfield, their big homecoming, they almost spoiled the party that night and again pushed Bradford all the way. They're likely to do that again here. But Warrington, I think, look the more skillful side, and it's a task really now for somebody in the Wakefield side to come up with some creativity. Is there another way that they can score a try other than through a kick? Maybe Ben Jeffries or Jamie Rumi can find that opening. I thought they were unlucky with that pass. Maybe it did go slightly forward. The referee thought that, most importantly. But they have shown some chinks through the Warrington defence. And I just think that Semi Tajulala on the left wing has a hairstyle like Leslie Vinacolo. Let's see if he can play like him in the second half.
Some great names in Super League: Vinacolo, Tajulala, Talipo. Great stuff. We're going to have some good fun this year, I can tell you. I know somebody who will. Now then, we have to give the watch away, of course, to the man of the match. It's nothing to do with Clarkey or Steve-O this time. It's the representatives, or some representatives of the Rugby League media, and their spokesman, Dave Hadfield, will tell us with about 5 minutes to go who's the man of the match and who goes home with that watch. I think whoever does go home with the watch will also go home with the spoils. And this match is certainly there for the winning in the second half. The Wolves are just ahead.
There's Something About Miriam. Starts 9 o'clock tomorrow. Sky One Sunday.
Mazda 3. Have you got what it takes?
Tiscali Broadband offers a choice of high-speed internet packages from as little as $15.99 a month, including modem and completely free setup. To order, call Tiscali Broadband free on 0800 107 9000 or visit tiscali.co.uk.
Today's lesson, giving our customers peace of mind. For £15 a month, we look after their whole central heating system. That means parts, labour and unlimited call-outs. To demonstrate the importance of having this fallback, Dave will fall back as if he's a boiler breaking down. But Dave didn't have British Gas central heating care. And now look, it was only £15 a month.
Free inside this weekend's News of the World. Get your copy of True Brit. An exclusive 10-track CD packed full of award-winning British artists. Don't miss True Brit. Only inside this weekend's News of the World.
England's story. The inside track and how England won the World Cup. From the men who really know, the players.
We were not going to lose this game. We were not going to lose this game.
He was not going to be a captain of the losing side in the World Cup final.
England's story. Out Monday on DVD.
Cleaner Clothes, Episode 6, and an unhappy reunion for Vince.
Still got an eye for bodywork then, Vince?
Pandora. Slumming it, are we?
I've always had a thing about the hot, musky, grimy smell of lemon.
The lemony fresh fragrance of Dad's citrus blast.
Vince, you always used to be so grubby.
Yeah, well, I do his washing now. Citrus Blast is out again, but will Vince be coming out too? Find out with Daz, the soap you can believe in.
Got the urge for the new flame-grilled big chili cheese from Burger King? 100% beef with onion rings, melted cheese, and chunky chili sauce? Only $1.99. Got the urge? Get to Burger King.
Gobble us no gook, man. And poppy us no cock. Mumble us no jumbo. and jabber us no walk. Spare us all the twaddle. Cut the gibble gabble. Stow the fiddle faddle and lose the bibble babble. Hocus us no focus. Roll away the mists. Sharpen up the focus, man. Just tell it like it is.
The Pru ISA. Tax-efficient savings made nice and simple. It's all part of the plan from the Pru.
Please move to the forward car. We got a bug in the electrical system. We got a bug in the electrical system.
Men in Black 2, tonight at 7, 8, 9 and 10 on Sky Movies.
Well, there's more live football coming up on Sunday on Sky Sport 2 from 2 o'clock. Portsmouth take on Liverpool in an FA Cup fifth round replay. And don't miss our Super Sunday match, Tottenham facing Leicester. That's on Sky Sports 1 from 4. The opening night, the big opening night at Warrington Wolves' new stadium. And at the moment, the Wolves are producing. They are ahead by 14 points to 8 against the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. Well, there is a full house here, but I think there will be a story that will develop over the next 48 hours or so, because we have had reports tonight that there are many, many people who have been locked out of this stadium this evening, and they all have been holding match tickets. So somewhere, somehow, down the line, it seems that things have gone slightly awry. And I think you'll be hearing a lot more about that over the course of the next few days. It's a wonderful facility. The people have got to be able to get into it. And if they've bought tickets, and season tickets, more importantly, they've got to be able to take the places that they've bought. Anyway, that's all for the future. It's great to be here on their opening night. It's a full house. The houseful signs have been written and hung up outside this ground for a full week. And let's hope that everyone comes back in great numbers, because it's, as I say, it's the sort of facility that Rugby League has been crying out for in this town for a number of years. Wakefield, though, will not lie down. Don't worry about that. This match is there for the winning. Boost downfield and bounces a little bit unkindly, but Apo does well to defuse the danger. And then has to take the tackle from Dallas Hood. And also Ryder.
Not the best kick, really. Got to try to turn the fullback Graham Apo around if you can.
Dean Gaskell goes down.
We all know the qualities of the fullback Apo. If you give him room to move, he'll certainly make you suffer.
Wood tackled by David March. Here goes Gleeson. Big hit by Hood again, but he gets the ball away to Nathan Wood. And it goes to Apo. And Apo, who scored 32 points in the fixture against Wakefield at the back end of last year, goes down under the challenge from Michael Korkidas. This is Gleeson. Here is Wood. And Westwood has popped the ball forward. The referee will put the scrum down.
Good defence as well. Just a little glance at to see who was coming towards him. Other than that, though, he's had a big night at Westwood. That was good work by Gareth Ellis. Certainly has worked overtime in the defensive patterns. You can see there that it was a forced error. And that will please Shane McNally, who was looking very relaxed and cool, even though they were behind at half-time.
Warrington straying inside the 5 at the scrum. And Bill Arthur's on the sideline. He's got Ian Sibbett with him.
Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, Ian's out at the moment with a knee injury for Warrington. Ahead, but by no means home and dry yet, Ian.
No, by no means. I mean, we started like a house on fire in the first half, and we really took the game to Wakefield, but Wakefield have slowly clawed their way back into the game, and it's anybody's game at the moment.
What have Warrington got to do to keep this advantage?
They've just got to get the basics right, you know, keep the game plan simple and just do what we do best and just go forward in numbers.
And what are you going to be on the lookout for, do you think, from this Wakefield side? They're not going to roll over, are they?
No, they're not at all. The kicking game's going to be very important. They've already scored one try through a kicking. They've just got to watch the kicking game.
Thanks, Ian.
No problem.
Ian Sibbett, one of several players who will be hoping that they'll get the nod from Paul Cullen next week in the Cup. Here is Talipo, stabbing the kick in, and picked up by Lee Breer. Dovick with the tackle on him.
forward. Good work from the winger, Wilshire, as well. A good ground forward by struggling for that second effort to offload.
Mike Forshaw, 5 metres inside his own half of the field. Gleeson to Michael Wainwright and Nathan Ward, and he nearly escapes the net, but Gareth Ellis is there to bring him down.
They scramble back well as a Wildcat. Just get the impression, though, that Warrington really should be a little bit sharper to display the ball area.
That's the last tackle. Gaskell waits there at dummy half. Here is Wood. It goes wide again to Breers. Kick from Breers under pressure. Oh, he was hit late by Wrench. And Warrington have come up with it again. Knock on. Knock on, though. Is that against Apo? And Breers limping away. He was hit late by David Wrench. And Apo has fumbled it.
He's certainly got a fingertip to it on 2 occasions, as far as I'm concerned. This will be head and feet to Wakefield.
Yes,
but what about the late tackle on Breers?
Oh, one against the head. Breers! Breers for Warrington! That's the collector's item. Wakefield stand around and scratch their heads. It was Wakefield's head and feed, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. Well, and Lee Breers comes up with a try from a scrum feed against the head.
Well, that is amazing. Unless Breers has been so... No, you can see Jeffries is in. And it plopped out straight into the hands of the skipper, Lee Breers. I think everyone was stunned. They just anticipated that the Wildcats were going to cart this ball away. And I don't think that ball goes into the scrum. It doesn't. It hits the prop's foot. Well,
it hits
Darryl Griffin. And, I mean, they talk about they've got to put the ball straight. That never went anywhere near the scrum. It hit his foot. And the official allowed it to go on. I'm not so sure that the Wakefield forwards were impressed.
I don't think the Wakefield coach will be impressed.
I mean, that never went in the scrum.
Well, as I say, a rarity. A scrum feed by Wakefield, a try by Warrington.
Well, I thought it had gone with the dodo.
You're still here, aren't you?
Not the singer. Well, he has turned this game around, hasn't he?
Breers with the conversion then from bang in front. That's the extras. Breers try improved by the captain, 20 points to 8.
Well, from one bird, Griffin, to the dodo, they picked it up, and Breers is away. It just never went anywhere near the tunnel. I think Lee Breers is still stunning. I think that the Wakefield defence thought, oh, the referee will say put it back in again.
Well, he didn't. Let's go down to Clarkey. How about that, Bill? Collectors.
Yeah, I think the guy just carried the ball, deserves some credit too. Danny Lima, I think it was his right foot actually that won the ball back for his side, and just to correct Steve, I don't know if he's thinking of the singer, but it's Dido, not Dodo.
No, he's thinking of the old bird.
Oh, he'd know a few about that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, you took the words out of my mouth, Clarkey. I thought you'd be a bit quiet for a minute. You're just gathering your thoughts. Here now is Paul Wood for Warrington.
Oh, big problem
here. Torquidas losing his rag. Warrington starting to get that roll on that they had at the start of the match. Here's Breers, it's on the last, drifts the kick through. It's going to be a good chase, and it is. Dimitri with work to do. Oh, terrific chase by Warrington. Enthusiastic. Gaskell, Wood, they were all in there. Westwood, that's brought them to their feet. He's a great influence, you know, Mike Forshaw on this team.
Well, that's the reason why Paul Cullen was very, very quick to take advantage to bring him across the Pennines and straight through it. Take a leaf out of the Bradford Bulls from last night.
It's a cosmopolitan squad for 2004 at Warrington. There are British players, Kiwis, Aussies, a Frenchman out on the sideline, and a Papua New Guinean as well. And Danny Lima. And Paul Cullen said that Lightball and Lima would really light up the Warrington season, and so would this fella Forshaw. Another offload. Lima again to drive it forward. He's a big man. He's a big lump of a lad, is Danny Lima. Here is Paul Wood.
Well, Wakefield are hanging back. They're not getting into the paces. They've got to try to stop the roll.
Gleeson! So close. Important tackle by Ellis. Untidy ball. Wood does well, though. Breers steps inside one challenge. Puts it to the ground on the last. Wants to get on with it quickly, the Warrington skipper. Gleeson! Wood! Another try!
Yep.
The referee has not given it yet.
Check the grounding,
Check the grounding. Ray Tennant is the call from Ian Smith. Wood thinks he scored.
So do I.
He has.
Neat little pass there. Great stuff. Gleeson went close. And the short pass was sufficient. No problems at all. TRY for Mr. Wood. He opened the scoring early in the first half.
Try is given.
He's grabbed a brace now.
Paul Wood in the Great Britain squad. Last year he faced New Zealand A. He never made the tests. He's come through the academy ranks here at Warrington, and that could be the killer blow.
Good build-up to this. They went high. They knew that Wood was going to get across. Nothing was going to stop him, but that was brought about by some wonderful quick play of the ball by the Warrington Wolves. The build-up was good. It was always going to be a problem for the Wakefield side. They were not getting into it. Paul Wood was in a good position. They really have lifted themselves, stepped up a gear.
Lee Breers then, he hasn't missed yet. And he hasn't missed one. Even now, thumbs up, 26-8.
Well, the crowd are loving this. But the build-up was superb. Gleeson went close. They were quick to get to it, but it was the forwards that set it up. And like they showed in the opening 15 minutes in that first half, the eagerness to support the play and definitely to try to twist in the tackle. Neat little pass. Paul Wood says thank you.
And seeing it from that angle, you can understand why Ian Smith, the referee, asked for clarification from Ray Tennant, tonight's video ref.
Well, as soon as he hit it, it bounced away.
Up in the air.
Yeah, you've got to go for it if you've got any doubt whatsoever.
Well, if it's there, the technology, use it. Well, oh, here we go, Gleeson on the charge, and Lima in support. Lima goes straight through Tangulala, but couldn't get away.
Oh, that's not a professional foul.
Penalty, and he's in the bin.
He's got to.
Wrench is in the bin.
He knew that they were stretched either side. Shane McNally realises that he probably had no other option. They've gone for the quick tap.
And here they come with Forshaw. Stands again, flicks it away. Graham Appo picks it up once more. Appo bounces off one, drives it into Wrench. I don't know what Paul Cullen said at half-time, but this is a different team than we saw in the closing stages of that first half in Primrose Yellow and Blue.
Well, they've concentrated on playing rugby league rather than get sucked into an arm wrestle.
Here's Breers. They go wide to Darren Burns, and wide to Wiltshire. The try was beckoning.
To be fair, it wasn't the best pass. He had the overlap. It was going forward anyway. Gleeson straight away. There was no problem with it. Lima was in support, and he had to be sent to the sin bin here. David Rains all over him. He knew it was better to give away perhaps possession than give away the try. And now we see what happened in the first half. Wakefield, they're using the tough and rough stuff now to try to suck the Warrington side into it. But I think at 26-8, and I'm sure Paul Cullen will get the message out. Concentrate, keep this ball alive, we can blitz this mob.
Dominic, there's Wrench in the bin. David Wrench. Now Wakefield, it's a test of their character.
Well, they need a bit of extra spark. I must say that as Kipper Gadatellis has had many opportunities out wide in the centres.
Oh, the Wakefield kicker then was taken late, but he managed to get the ball away just the same.
Certainly turning the back into Jeffries. Looked as though he'd committed himself, Mark Gleeson, but he's certainly lifted the tempo, hasn't he, Gleeson, since he's come off the bench. And it is so important now, and you just get the feeling with this home crowd. They want more points, and they're just hoping they're not going to get sucked in like they did in that first half.
Yes, it's a vital period of the match for Wakefield, Clarkie.
It certainly is, Eddie, and I suppose it's a test too for the season here, really. There'll be times like this when they have to hang in on the ropes. Here's Dean Gaskell with a amazing run back in field. I think Paul Cullen, the Warrington coach, is very clever the way that he uses two hookers really throughout the game. First he starts with John Clark, then brings on Mark Gleeson, and I think the two complement one another well, provide the best really for Warrington in that vital acting half-back position.
Nathan Wood trying to get away from two, and in the end he's wrestled to the ground, and the touch judge is on. I think I saw a hand go in between the legs of Nathan Wood, and he might have been lifted, and that's not allowed.
He's got it spot on. Jamie Rooney is the culprit. There he goes, not allowed to do that. It's the rules and regulations, the big books and the pamphlets that Eddie was talking about in the first half.
Frears back on the inside to Paul Wood.
They're rampant now.
That's good defence from Corkidas. Here goes Gleeson. I'm not so sure that Corkidas was standing square, but he got away with that.
He's turned the game on its head, as Gleeson.
Westwood gets the pass away. Gaskell picks it up and retains possession for Warrington. Forshaw. Nathan Wood. Frears. Wide to Appo. Further wide to Wilshire. Duffy in goal. They're going to get another set of six, Warrington. Dominic carrying the ball over the dead ball line.
The long pass out wide to Wilshire, who virtually as soon as he got it, boot to ball, applied the pressure, and they'll get it back for an extra set of six.
You might notice that behind those sticks there are a lot of supporters actually almost encroaching onto the field of play. There's obviously been a problem somewhere down the line here tonight.
Well, if there's 2,000, they estimate, that's been locked out.
They should be all behind the crush barriers behind that ring.
They should be. But it also begs the question, Eddie, whether somebody has... what a try this will be.
Well, it will be if Gaskell scores it, or Westwood. Well, how on earth did Wakefield get back in numbers to stop that? On the bounce, Frears picks it up again. No, it's neat. It's Paul Wood. It's Paul Wood for a second try. And he just wants to check whether Paul Wood knocked the ball on in collecting that. He's not given it yet. Ray Tennant has to decide whether Paul Wood knocked the ball on.
Again, it was dodgy. Ball carrying arm does not hit the deck. First time, does the second time, was completed.
This is the one.
Oh, it's a bobble. It's up to Ray Tennant now to say, was that a knock-on? We'll slow it down, frame by frame. Well, I think he's got the fingertips to it at all time. I don't think he loses it. I think they might give this. There. Ooh, was that left hand? Did the left palm just part company with the football? I think the right fingers were okay.
Well, he's had a look.
I'm going to go no try.
Let's see what Ray Tennant says. Have you got one right yet this year? I don't think you have.
No.
Paul Wood, his second try of the night, his second try of the season, of course.
But what a dummy from Lee Breers. I thought he was going right underneath his stick. Not the best pass. They did well to keep it alive. Gaskell, then a quick play the ball. Paul Wood in for try number 2. Picked it up off his toes. They're blitzing them now. Great play.
I've seen those not given.
No good getting on my side now. Bless you, I don't operate at my best in cold weather.
Breers then 5 from 5. And Wolfie doing the Lee Breers impression. And Breers coming up with the goods again. They missed him for 8 months last year. 32 points to 8. Looks like Warrington are going to be off to a flying start at their new home.
And full credit also to Breers and Paul Cullen. Didn't panic. They shoved Breers when he picked up that injury, kept him out on the wing, slowly but surely got him back into the game. And Lee Breers, I'm sure, would be just as pleased as the try scorer there, that he made that dummy and the break. He looks as though he's back to his best. The point I was trying to make, Eddie, is the fact that if in 2000...
Oh,
great
Solomona collects the short kickoff, dumps the ball back. This is Griffin. Wakefield haven't given it away. They have a penalty.
Well, they'll have to take the tap, surely get on with it as quickly as possible. They're desperate for points on the board.
And here they come with Solomona, who was the man who was the most alert to that shallow kickoff. Here's Talipo, who goes wide to Demetriou and further wide.
And lost it. It's a penalty. Stolen the football. And it's getting a bit touchy yet again. Got a pushing and shoving.
You've got a penalty for the steal. No, he's pulling you by your shirt.
So more pressure here from Wakefield with Jamie Rooney. Pops the ball back to Jamie Field.
Go.
Wide it comes to Gareth Ellis. Great run,
good
great
offload.
battering run. Oh, good try. Great try from Justin Ryder. And Ellis, he just ran through them then. And Warrington, once he'd broken the tackle, they really were on the back foot. Well, they haven't given it up yet, despite the scoreline against them.
Well, this is a lesson that Paul Cullen will drill into his side. You can't just take the glory and then take a rest, and that's exactly what they did. It was a beautiful kick-off. Took full advantage. Mention the fact that the Wakefield skipper hasn't had many opportunities out wide. He certainly broke the first line of defence. Should have been decked. He wasn't. Had plenty of men there. Pushed to one side. And it was a good finish by Ryder. And that has stunned this crowd.
Kicks on its way. Oh, just underneath the bar. Rooney unlucky. 32-12.
Paul Cullen will be sending a message out now. He will be livid that occurred. They went to sleep because he knows the difference, Eddie, between making the playoffs at the end of the season is being able to just do away with the sides like Wakefield. When you're in the commanding position, you've got to finish them right off.
Breers with a deep kick-off. Collected by Halpenny.
Now, for the third time, I'll try to get in the fact about those people left outside. I wonder if there's been some forgeries used.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure that the story will be told in due time, and I'm sure the Warrington club will launch a full inquiry. Wrench has come back out of the sin bin, by the way. Wakefield now up to the full complement of players. And here is Rooney, and there is Wrench. Welcome back. It's a good run. It's taken a long time to get him down, but they do on the last. Rooney again. drills the kick to the corner. Apo is after this. Good chase by Wakefield.
They've certainly got numbers there.
Gaskell.
Still plenty of time left as well.
Oh, Gaskell slipped the net, but Solomona coming in and finishing him off. Light ball.
If Wakefield can get the possession and squeeze over for a try, might set the alarm bells going in the Warrington camp.
Gleeson, this is Breers. Ball to Noon, but that's the last. And Breers inside the 40, but over on that far side, Pachalala has funneled back. Well, is it all over for Wakefield, I wonder? Let's get Clarkey's view. Phil, any signs of the comeback?
I'm not sure about a comeback. It's not surprising, although penalty here is going to help their case. It's going to put them back on the attack. Jimmy Rooney can kick the ball here now to get some ground on that. It's not surprising that Wakefield haven't given up. All these players have trained for 4 months for this game, so they're going to give it everything they've got, and nobody looks tired at this stage. Just going about the crowd at the other end of the ground, where there's people near the pitch. I think we've got to be a bit lenient here with the crowd. The crowd safety stewards here. I mean, it's the first time they've had such a capacity crowd. They couldn't prepare for this, and it's not easy. There's the teething problems in it.
Absolutely, we agree with you, but if there are people outside with tickets, Clarkey, there's something happened somewhere.
Yeah.
We're not laying the blame at anyone's door, don't worry about that. Just something somewhere's gone a little awry. It's Solomona. Tried to get the pass away, and that was gathered in.
Good work by the big second row of Solomona, but
Breers did well.
It would have been forward. He's trying to reach round the man who was going involved with the tackle. And this is steadying time now. Crowd trying to get on to the official Ian Smith, that then Wakefield not getting back the required 10. But the tails are up. The Wildcats are not giving in.
They are not.
Look at that.
Lightball. Lightball breaking through. No one there. He looked both ways for the second phase of attack. Last tackle. Nathan Wood drills the kick over the top. Now, how's the chase?
Good kick as well. Dissected the full-back and the winger, and the chase is good.
Yes, it is. There was nowhere for Halpenny to go other than to ground under the tackle from Paul Wood. Strong run from Ryder. Roughhouse to the ground by Ben Westwood.
He's played his part as a skipper, Gareth Ellis. The defence has been superb, especially when it was needed in that first half.
Griffin plays the ball to Talipo. He flicks it back. Oh, it's a loose pass. Picked up again, though, by Talipo, who gives it to Korkidas.
Really got nothing to lose now, the Wildcats. Just keep this ball alive. It's, as Clarkey said, it's been 4 months preparing for this game.
Great chip over the top, and here comes Jeffries, and there is Rooney, and Rooney's going in. Rooney, great try for Wakefield. What a fabulous try that is. Jamie Rooney, and the little kick over the top again. Jeffries with the kick, and Rooney with the try.
Mention the point, you can't go to sleep. Jeffries has had a big game. Combination. The two halfbacks offloaded superbly, just sucked in the fullback Graham Apo. You never say die in this game, and they took the gamble. They have gone to sleep of the Warrington Wolves. Not surprisingly, Rooney, big grin all over his face. That was an exceptionally good try.
Well, Paul Collins' face tells its own story. He's not very impressed. And Shane McNally is going down to the sideline. He wants to get at his players here because he knows that maybe there's something on. Rooney. Oh. I'm sorry, it was Gareth Ellis who kicked that. Rooney probably injured himself in scoring the try. Well, that one got away from Gareth Ellis.
Well, you see, Gleeson and Hilton They're not moving forward, they're hanging back. They think this game's won. Jeffries says, no way. Look at that. They should have been right into his face. Good offload. Maybe a touch out there about the ball. Was it the touch forward? It was right on that white line. 50-50. They got away with it, and they are back in this game.
Very much so. This isn't over yet. Gorkidas running strongly. And there's plenty of time. 13 minutes. Only 16 points the difference now. What we've seen over the past 24 hours, Steve-O, here and at Odsal, it augurs well for a great season. Oh, Solomon has lost it. He's trying to overplay it and overcook it a little.
Well, the two games we've already seen.
Not standing square again.
In the opening of this Super League, it's quite obvious now that there's not going to be an easy game.
I wouldn't think so.
And again, you've got to admire the way that Wakefield have clawed their way back into this match. They've been put on the rack on 2 occasions, but they will not be finished off.
Breers to Gleeson. Had Lightfall there as the runner, but had to take the tackle in the end from Talipo. Capo.
Ooh, that was Hilton. Hilton had overrun the pass. Now they need some spark. Can Gleeson provide it yet again?
Can Breers back on the inside to Apo. Good tackle was needed and a good tackle was produced there. Gleeson, Breers, Solomona all round him. That's the last. Will Gleeson go on his own? No. They'll give it to Breers. Chip over the top, looking for Westwood. Well claimed. Gareth Ellis. Captain's contribution there. And here goes Solomona again. And Solomona rampaging run. It's not, it's Dominic. This is Ryder.
Well, Warrington look out on their feet. They've lost their concentration. And I think they've lost their nerve.
Jamie Field here driving it in for Wakefield.
I think it's going through their minds now that they're hanging on for a win rather than going for more and more.
This is Gareth Ellis.
Wakefield can sniff something here.
And this is Jeffries. Jeffries still to within a metre on the last. March. Talipo. Oh, the defender slipped out the back door. They're in here. Yes, it's a try for Halpenny. Wakefield are coming back. Halpenny with the try. It is silent at the new stadium, and silence isn't golden for Warrington.
Well, they put the cue on the rack. And there's still a few reds out on the table. I cannot believe this. Full credit to Wakefield. They fully deserve it. They've seen that Warrington have taken the foot off the gas. They think it's all over. No, it ain't. Good play back on the inside. Halpenny's in for it there. And the alarm bells, oh, they are ding, 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 ringing. Oh!
Halpenny, the try scorer. And Halpenny is going to take the conversion attempt. Rooney's off the field. Ellis didn't manage to find the mark last time, and there is a crisis meeting behind the posts for Warrington. Wakefield are coming back at them, and Paul Cullen knows this match is far from won now. Halpenny then. He has missed it.
It's a bad miss as well. In a good position.
3 unconverted tries from Wakefield. That's 6 points gone adrift.
And you've got to go back to the point that when Paul Wood went over for his second try, they said we've won it. They fell asleep from the kick-off, and it has been momentum by the Wildcats. What a thriller!
Well, they're coming home with a wet sail, the Wildcats, aren't they, Phil?
Yes, certainly are, and you know, the coach, Shane McNally, wanted David Marsh to take that kick. He was a bit nervous and chose not to, so Colin Halpenny ended up taking it. Again, he's missed, and as you say here now, as it gets exciting inside the last 10 minutes, You just wonder whether those two missed kicks in the last few minutes really will cost the Wakefield side, but no, he had nervous times now for Warrington. They've just got to hang on. They've got to make sure that at the end of this set of 6, they can pick up possession from a kick or whatever. They can't afford to let Wakefield to have the ball for much longer, because they really are on fire at this present moment.
They are. Wrench playing the ball, but I tell you what, in the first tackle of this set of 6, I thought Korkidas had dropped it.
Ooh, he'll go for that.
And Solomona is not terribly impressed with the tackle.
He could go for that. He's very fortunate.
Just a grab.
This is just a grab.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. On the chest.
Read it well, did Ian Smith.
Certainly kept calm, a lot calmer than I did. Looked really bad.
Dominic again playing a big part in this revival for Wakefield. They really have got the roll on. Here is Tadulala.
They're mesmerised. Warrington don't know what's happening.
Jeffries, Talipo. Oh, that would have been picked up. Mike Forshaw has it now for Warrington. They just about got over the advantage line, so referee says play on. Gaskell.
Delayed pass that just didn't come off. But again, full credit to them. You can see that Warrington, they're not on their feet, they're not moving through to it.
But both sides have had 3 pre-season games coming into this match to get themselves ready.
Well, this crowd should have been joyous. They should have been dancing on the terracing, clapping in the seats.
Well, at the moment, they're still okay. They're 12 points to the good, but it's only 2 converted tries. Oh, Forshaw has made the break. He's got Wood with him. Oh, and Wood has dropped it under no pressure.
Nobody in front of him whatsoever.
Snitch drives the ball forward.
Well, he can't believe it.
And I bet his coach can't.
He's got one of the safest pair of hands in Super League, Nathan Wood. Wonderful break there by Forshaw. That would have sealed it.
Here come Wakefield again, though, with David March. Halted on the 3rd. Quick play the ball. Warrington on the back foot. Talipo escapes Wood. Offloads to Ellis. Ellis with a great ball. And that's Halpenny again.
Good job. There's a ankle tap there. He was well on his way.
Solomona with the kick to the in-goal area. Collected by Wilshire. And he got a bang on the head as well for his pains.
But then again, slow to respond to the kick. Struggling to get back. The fact that all Wakefield have to do now is to just keep the ball alive and try to create something. They've certainly done that. They've done themselves proud.
Well, at 32 points to 8 on the hour mark, Warrington were having the time of their lives. But now they are involved in a real struggle. They've got 5.5 minutes remaining. And it's not a question of celebrating this victory, if victory it will be. They're hanging on for it.
This is a big lesson that the Wolves will learn tonight.
Breers with the kick. That runs dead, touching goal.
Listen, get their defensive line set up on the 30-metre line. He looks a worried man, doesn't he, Paul Cullen?
Well, let's get down to the sideline, Steve. Oh, excuse me, we've got to get the Man of the Match award, and Dave Hatfield is down there. Who of the representatives of the media chosen, David?
Well, Eddie, there's been some good signs from Wakefield tonight that they're going to be a better side this season. We've seen glimpses of what David Solomona can do, some very good football from Jamie Rooney. But it is, after all, Warrington's night. Great displays, I thought, from Likeville and Lima, the props. Wonderful leadership from Mike Forshaw, but the man we've gone for in the end, Lee Breers, couldn't really look past him for his overall contribution to the game. Remarkable for a fellow who's been out for so long.
Lee Breers, and of course he kicked 6 from 6 as well as his leadership qualities. That's got to be a knock-on, and it is.
And it's a very relieved Warrington crowd here, and players also. Tired as David Wrench. It's been a tough encounter. As the clock just ticking away, maybe Wakefield coach Shane McNally has thrown the towel in, maybe it's a loss, but there's a lot of things for him that have been positive, especially with the way that they fought back.
It's an encouraging start for Wakefield.
Yeah.
10 metres.
Wood to Hilton. That's Darren Burns.
2. Drops the ground. No, he walked forward and missed.
Lima.
3. 10 metres.
Well, they won't be happy, Warrington, unless they scored a try to just finish it off.
John Clark has returned to try and help them do that.
Making a bend.
They've had the chances. Forshaw's break, and well, Nathan Wood just couldn't take it in earlier.
Good experience there by Forshaw. Got himself into the dummy half position.
Breers with a drop goal to try and relieve the pressure. Just wide.
Well, I'm not so sure that that would have been a good option. I would have gone for a kick down into the corner to try to kick Wakefield away. Now they're in the situation where... Now then, has Nathan Wood got that?
No.
I think, yeah.
No, Ryder has it.
Got it.
Play the ball, says the referee. Domick to Ellis, and I understand Jamie Rooney off the field has a calf injury. March. 35 metres away, Wakefield. 2 and a bit minutes remaining. Jeffries, Solomona, Jeffries again.
Is that a big game as a little halfback? A good battle against Nathan Wood.
David March. Oh, great offload. Calipo to Ellis. Ryder is on the touchline. He's inside Nathan Wood. He's given it to David Wren, who is flattered by Paul Wood. Beg your pardon, by Chris Lightford. Jeffries slides the kick in. Burns, last line of defence.
Bit of a swinging arm there. Solomono. Got them offside. Well, this will be...
Well, it's a win's a win, is what he'll say, and of course, such emotion involved in the night. They're going to win it now. And penalties, there's been 24 of them, and equally split.
Well, the sweet taste of victory, yes, certainly will be in the mouth, but in their brains they know that they're going to have a hard week under the coach, Mr. Cullen.
Lima with a good drive. Light ball, and Forshaw, and a great offload to Apo. Wrench with an important tackle. Can Warrington just put some icing on the cake? Nathan Wood.
Lost it.
Stolen. Yes, it was ripped from him.
Quick tap. A lot of the Wakefield side out on their feet. They've had to come back very, very quickly. And I think Lee Breers has said, let's just slow it down a little bit. Let the clock go.
He's going for the 2 points. He's going for the 2 points just to finish this match off.
Well, quite a section of this crowd here booing the decision. With Lee Breers' experience will be ruthless at times. This is wonderful respect that they're offering to their opposition. It's amazing, isn't it? It looked as though Warrington were going to show to the rest of the Super League world that it was not going to be easy to come here, that they had the quality. They were playing wonderful open football. Most impressed with what they have displayed so far. Disappointed the way that they have just capitulated. They'll hang on to win, that we know.
Just depends now on the margin of victory, and Breers makes it 7 from 7. There's a full-time siren. Warrington Wolves off to a winning start at their new ground. The margin of victory could have been greater, but credit Shane McNally's Wakefield for a remarkable fight back in the last quarter of this game. Breers with the penalty on the 80th minute, giving us the final score of 34 points to 20. 3 tries early in the second half for Warrington. Looked like it was done and dusted. They led 32-8 with an hour of the match gone. But then Ryder, Rooney and Halpenny with tries, unconverted. And in the end, it is a 14-point victory. But I wonder what Paul Cullen's reaction is to this win. He's with Bill.
Paul, do you think the guys made that a bit more nerve-wracking than necessary?
Oh, a bit of material for the week's work, Bill, but I'm not overly concerned at all. You know, we've done some great defence today, and I'm happy with the shape. I'm happy the way that we've gone forward. A little bit of work to do on the execution, the patience, but we're there, we're in. To be honest, it's not about us today, the team, me. It's about us getting in this place, and we have delivered once more. We've left Wilderspool with dignity, and we've arrived with style.
And a great night, but are you, in a way, just glad that it's over? You know, now you can... The hype will all fade away, and you can carry on with the season now.
Well, our season has started in the pre-season. We've done a lot of work, as we've proven tonight. Just like to say a massive thank you to all the detractors who have questioned the fitness levels of one or two of the players and one or two of the buys. Thanks very much. Done us a world of good.
And what have you seen tonight that's impressed you from your side?
I've seen that we can go forward and we can take on a very good Wakefield side who have some outstanding attacking players, and that we can take them on as best as they're going to be, and that's the first game of the season.
Thanks, Paul. Let's bring in the man of the match. He didn't do a bad job, did he?
He's an outstanding player and has got a massive future ahead of him.
Lee Breers, well done, Lee. To come back and put your stamp on a game like that, well, that must have really thrilled you.
Oh yeah, it was good to get back. Oh, God, I've missed it, but there's 13 boys out there, 16 boys out there as well who's worked really tough, and they've helped me along the long winter, and I can't thank them enough.
And, I mean, what was it like? Because the whole play, it was bedlam, wasn't it? The whole thing was mad the whole afternoon, and the game was pretty mad as well in the end.
Oh, it was. It was one of those games where never knew it was going to win it to the last second. Well, last 10 minutes, I thought. Massive effort for the crowd. Who says we're going to miss Wilderspool?
And what about that final 20 minutes maybe where you made life difficult for yourselves when you didn't really need to? Did you take your eye off the ball?
Maybe, but all credit to Wakefield. God, they give us a good game, and they come back strong there. They've got some sensational players, and they made us work for our winning.
And you're back, and it must feel good.
Excellent, never felt better.
Well done, Lee.
Yeah, thank you.
8 months out, back with a bang, back with 7 goals, a try, and a man of the match award. 34 points to 20. I think, despite all the positive talk, though, from Paul Cullen and Lee Breers, Phil Clark, the Wolves will be breathing a sigh of relief.
Well, maybe to a certain extent. They're an exciting team and they're an enterprising club, and I suppose today's been about the first match here at the new stadium. And you know, when you go to consider that they played against the Wakefield side, who finished next to last year, well, I'll tell you what, we're in a healthy Super League 9. We'll probably see record crowds this weekend, so Super League last season finished off in great style, some of the football we saw played. And this weekend, well, if it's going to come again like that week in, week out, we're in for even a better quality game. I think Wakefield have shown that they will challenge any side, be it at home or even away. And now we've kicked off in great style.
No doubt about that, Clarkie. Thanks very much. We have kicked off in great style. Great win for Bradford tonight, and a victory for Warrington here at the new stadium. But he's absolutely right, Steve-O, is Phil Clark. Wakefield, their mere physical presence will mean that they will be a handful for anyone.
Oh, without a doubt, they won't give in the ghost, will they? They showed that at 2 occasions in this particular game. But although Paul Cullen said that he was quite happy with the win, yes, it is 2 points on the league table, but I must say they cannot afford to go to sleep. And this is how it happened. The short kickoff. Look, nobody wanted it. There was no one shouting. They were just basking in the glory. Full credit to Wakefield. They put it on the line. And this time Ellis, as I said, didn't get many opportunities, but came to the fore late in the game, and Ryder scoring the try. They stumbled over, did this Warrington side. That's all I can say. Stumbled over the line, 2 points. But if they want to challenge for a playoff when it comes to the end of the season, they've got to learn to be ruthless. You cannot afford to just go to sleep. You do not bask in glory in this game until the final whistle.
Yes, harsh words, and absolutely right, but when you think about the whole emotion of the occasion, I know they were home and hosed at 32 points to 8, you're absolutely right, but the emotion of the occasion, maybe it just got on top of them in some way, but we can't take anything away from Wakefield.
No, and I don't want to. I mean, they took their opportunities, they chanced their arm, and they got away with it. But the thing is that when you're going to compete at the top of the rugby league pile, you've got to make sure that you can just put the other side away. And I just say, 32-6, they should have done that. They went to sleep. Rest, rest, rest. No semi-semi.
Well, great start for Warrington. They're off to a winning start in Super League 9. And we saw Bradford last night absolutely put the cleaners through Wigan. They are the team to stop.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you just saw that the way we talked about being ruthless, and I'm sure that Paul Cullen would be working on that all next week. They may celebrate, have a few beers tonight, but I know in their own hearts and in their minds that they're going to have a tough week under Paul Cullen.
Yes, that was the first thing he said when we got to him at the final hooter. So that's the first weekend as far as we're concerned on Sky Sports. There's a whole host of matches tomorrow, of course. And coming up on Wednesday at 10:30 on Sky Sports 2, we will reflect the first weekend of Tetley Super League 9. That's boots and all. Then next weekend we have the Challenge Cup highlights on Sunday evening at 9:30, Sky Sports 3. We have the varsity match. For the first time ever, it will be broadcast live on British television. Oxford against Cambridge, Wednesday the 3rd of March, 7:30, Sky Sports 2 in the boots and all slot. And we will return with more Super League in a fortnight's time. Widnes Huddersfield, Friday the 5th at 7:30, Sky Sports 1. Sky Sports 1 the following night for London Saints in the capital from 5:30. It's been a rip-roaring start to the new season, hasn't it? Hope you've enjoyed it. Well done to Bradford and well done to Warrington here. And we shall see you next time. Steve, me and all the guys, bye-bye.
Took your sister?
You wore a hood.
And who did this? This witch. You're scaring her. She needs to be scared, and so do you.
From director Ron Howard, The Missing.
Nem vende garfo que hoje é dia de sopa. Esquenta o ferro, passa a minha roupa. Que eu nesse embalo vou botar pra quebrar. Sacudim, sacudá, sacudim, bundá.
Right, position 15, the Buddha. Oh, that's new. These are really stretchy.
Position 16, the ostrich. Here we go. Now, how does that look? Oh, that's great, no leaks.
Position 17, the crane. Yes, you need a sofa for this, ideally. Yes. Oh, I can't believe it, there's no leaks. Look, even when I do this.
New Superflex nappies from Huggies.
Look, Mum, no leaks.
Discover the magic of Thomas & Friends with an exciting new fortnightly magazine collection. With each issue, you'll get a different model train, track or accessory to build your very own Thomas & Friends train set. Plus, have fun with puzzles, pictures, stories and stickers on a magical journey of discovery. So discover the world of Thomas & Friends today. Issue one at newsagents now for $1.99 with your very first train, Thomas, track and a free map of Sodor.
Smile through your fear and sorrow. Smile and maybe tomorrow you'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile.
Put a fruit spring in your step.
A case with cult connections.
He's a ritual killings king.
And the further they dig,
I'm trying to find out who killed your wife. It was a priest.
the more evil they will uncover.
They're targeting children with fire.
Simon, open the door! Wire in the Blood, Thursday at 9, ITV1.